Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another ASMR video. Now you may wonder, where are the microphones? Well, they're this far away from each other, this far. And the reason why the two microphones are so far away from each other is so I can test if this feels more binaural than the ordinary setup where they are a bit closer to each other. So I wonder, how will this turn out? How does this sound? Because with this distance, is there really such a big difference? Can you hear me more quietly sneaking through the room? Or does this just give too much impression of distance between me and you? Let's see. Let's see how this turns out. Let's see how this goes. So let's test this extraordinary setup, and hopefully it will sound more binaural than the current setup I use with the microphones around here, I think. Let's get started. With so much distance between the microphones, what item could possibly be big enough? Let me show you. This one. You have seen it before, and you will experience it now. I now can travel the full distance with my hand, since the microphones are around the length of this foam block apart from each other. Alright, it's gone. We can continue. Let me give you a little explanation on how this could work. Because keep in mind, I'm just an amateur. I'm not a professional audio engineer, so I have no idea how this works, except of the theory I have about this. Let's begin. So, when you have two microphones away from each other, they will both receive the same sound, except for two little differences. They will receive a different kind of volume, and they will receive the audio later or sooner than the other one. They will never receive the audio at the exact same time. Even the most minuscule differences can make a difference. So for instance, if I stand here, the left microphone will receive the audio way earlier than the right microphone, and the right microphone might not even receive the audio since it is so quiet. But when I speak at a normal volume, then you will clearly hear the difference of me walking from left to right. And that's mostly because, of course, this microphone, your right microphone, receives the audio earlier and at a louder volume than the left microphone. And since your brain is so good at calculating where a sound comes from, it can calculate the tiny differences between the right and left microphone, so you know where I am in the room. And this is called the binaural effect. Because apart from a stereo audio file, a file with two separate microphones functioning differently from each other can be considered binaural, but not one microphone that has two audio channels, since the microphone itself calculates where the audio comes from, but now your brain can calculate where the audio comes from. So even though this can be considered binaural, it technically isn't, because real binaural audio can be created when you have two microphones that simulate a human head. The left and right microphone will be at the places your left and right ear are supposed to be. And because of that, your brain can fully adjust to the audio. So if you have two microphones at the places your ears are supposed to be, then you can make a fully simulated binaural audio file. And that is simply because your brain can fully adjust to the setup, because this and this isn't realistic. Let's be real, you don't have your left ear here and your right ear there, and for you it's your right ear there and your left ear over there. That's just not realistic. However, if you place it at the exact same place where your ears are supposed to be, then of course your brain can understand the spatial audio way better. So let me give you an example. I will put the microphones in the exact same setup I explained to you, and you will hear the difference between this kind of binaural setup from right to left and this kind of binaural setup from left to right. Going to make the other one now. So this is what such a setup would look like. Left ear, right ear up. For you it's right and left. For me it's left and right, but right ear, left ear. Human head, basically. The only thing that misses is a barrier between them that dampens the audio just enough, like a human head would do. Because for now, you can hear me right and you can hear me left. But if I'm standing over here, then the front and the back of the microphone will pick up the sound. And of course there is not really a back of the microphone that will pick up the sound, but normally it will be blocked over here by your face, and right and left will pick up the sound. But now there is no barrier, so this is a bit of a gray area of where I am. You can hear that I'm in front of you, but not exactly if I'm over here or over here, apart from the volume of the sound. So then what? Let's make a human head microphone. They did it already. For instance, the 3DO or the Neumann or Newman, however you call it, microphones. But I think the only problem with those is that the material they are made of dampens the audio too much. For instance, the Neumann head, the Neumann microphone, is made of plastic, I think. And not just the soft plastic you will have in your water bottle will be made of, but the real dense, hard, carbon-like plastic. And that dampens the audio so much that, for instance, when I stand over here, the other side will not pick up any of the sound. And that shouldn't be that big of a problem. But if you watch those videos where they use the Neumann microphone, then you really hear the difference between left and right. But the middle is a bit of a gray area, because now there's no barrier, both microphones pick it up. I mean, it's not ideal, but it should do. But the Neumann would just block everything like this, and only if I go to the left you can suddenly hear me, and then I am blocked again, and then I go to the right, and then suddenly you can hear me again. That's the main problem, because your head, apart from thinking, is made to pick up sound. So in conclusion, the Neumann or 3DO dampen the audio too much. I think the Neumann does that more than the 3DO, but still it could be considered a discrepancy. A discrepancy between a real human head with two ears and through microphones simulating a human head. So this isn't ideal, but the Neumann microphone isn't either. And mostly because I think it's too big as well, because a human head isn't as big as a Neumann microphone. But I think it comes really close to reality. It is the best kind of binaural ASMR or binaural sound you can get. So we'll just take it for what it is and enjoy the ASMR or sound you can make with it. And once again, I want to inform you, I'm just an amateur, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So don't take my information for granted, don't take it for true. Do your own research and see what conclusion you take. And for now, I think that's it. I mean, my head is spinning. It's too much information, too much English for me to process, since English isn't my native language. It can be difficult to articulate and pronounce words correctly. But anyway, just thank you for watching, and of course, and as always, we'll see you next time. So goodbye.